Welcome to The Truth About. I'm your host, and today we're investigating the remarkable life of Robert Redford, the Hollywood legend who passed away on September 16, 2025, at his home at Sundance in the mountains of Utah at age 89. But there's so much more to this story than just another Hollywood obituary. Born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California, to Charles Robert Redford, an accountant for Standard Oil, and Martha Redford. Charles Robert Redford, Jr. was a scrappy kid who stole hubcaps in high school and lost his college baseball scholarship at the University of Colorado because of drunkenness. Here's what the mainstream media won't tell you about Redford's early years: he wasn't destined for stardom. He was a troubled youth who could have easily ended up on the wrong side of the law. However, as a high school student, he had displayed a certain aptitude as a caricaturist, a talent that would later inform his ability to embody different characters on screen. Everyone knows Redford from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and The Way We Were. But here's the truth Hollywood doesn't want you to know: Redford was never just a pretty face trading on his looks. While the industry tried to pigeonhole him as just another heartthrob, he was quietly building something much more significant. His filmography tells a different story: The Way We Were, 1973, The Great Gatsby, 1974, 3 Days of the Condor, 1975, All the President's Men, 1976, The Electric Horseman, 1979, Brubaker, 1980, The Natural, 1984, and Out of Africa, 1985. Each film carefully chosen to explore American themes of power, corruption, and moral complexity. Here's where it gets interesting. Robert Redford received 4 Academy Award nominations and won a Best Director Oscar for Ordinary People, 1980. He also was awarded an honorary Oscar in 2002. But that Oscar win wasn't just recognition, it was validation of Redford's real agenda, using cinema as a tool for social change. The truth is, Redford understood something that most Hollywood actors never grasped. Real power lies behind the camera, not in front of it. Now here's what they really don't want you to know. Redford founded the renowned Sundance Film Festival, which has supported the work of independent filmmakers. This wasn't just about helping small films, this was about disrupting the entire Hollywood power structure. Redford invigorated American independent cinema as the founder of the organization behind the Sundance Film Festival, essentially creating an alternative pathway to success that bypassed the traditional studio system. He gave voice to filmmakers who would never have been heard otherwise, fundamentally changing what stories could be told and who could tell them. While Hollywood parties and virtue signals, Redford was out there doing the actual work. Redford supported environmentalism, Native American rights, LGBT rights, and the arts. But this wasn't celebrity activism for show, he put his money where his mouth was. Although Redford primarily resided at the Sundance Resort in Utah, he owned a house in Tiburon, California, which was sold in 2024. He also had a property in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Notice the pattern: he lived in places where he could actually make a difference in conservation efforts, not just talk about them from Beverly Hills. Redford portrayed Alexander Pierce in Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 2014, and Avengers: Endgame, 2019. The latter was his last on-screen film appearance. Even in his final role, he chose to play a character that embodied the very corruption and institutional power he'd spent his entire career fighting against. A fitting metaphor for his complex relationship with Hollywood. His final screen appearance came in 2025 with a cameo in Dark Winds, closing a career that shaped the very fabric of American cinema. He is survived by his wife, Cybele Saggers, and 2 children from a previous marriage to Lola Van Wagenen, Shauna Jean Redford and Amy Hart Redford. Redford and his first wife lost 2 sons. Scott Anthony Redford, born in 1959, died of sudden infant death syndrome. David James Redford died in childhood. This is the part of Redford's story that reveals the man behind the legend, someone who understood loss and used it to fuel his commitment to causes greater than himself. So what's the truth about Robert Redford? He wasn't just an actor or director, he was a revolutionary who used his platform to fundamentally change how stories are told, who gets to tell them, and what causes deserve attention. Redford was the leading man in many classic films: But his real legacy lies in the thousands of independent filmmakers he empowered and the environmental causes he championed when it wasn't fashionable to do so. The Hollywood establishment will remember him as a heartthrob and movie star. But the truth is, Robert Redford spent his entire career systematically dismantling the very system that made him famous and succeeded. Subscribe, like, and comment with your thoughts on Redford's true legacy.